planning on making another FNAF video anytime soon, really, but I was thinking about the Blob, and I had a massive breakthrough. You see past Alicia here? Fucking idiot. Don't listen to her. Current Alicia? I've solved it. I have figured out what is up with the Blob. I totally think I have. So first, I was thinking about one of the smaller mysteries with the Blob, which is why it has Baby's and Funtime Freddy's original casings. I realized there are like two very simple explanations that both totally make sense. The first one, the one I think is less likely, we know that Fazbear Entertainment has a bunch of old stuff from old locations in the Pizzaplex, like we see the little museum thing in Rockstar Row. Technically, something could have ended up from there at the Blob. I don't think so, that just seems a little unlikely. It's just such a weird distance for it to travel. I don't know why it'd end up over there, or how it would get into the Blob once it gets down there. And it also kind of seems like Freddy was implying when he had his whole voice line going out there, that the Blob was already there when he cleared the path, like helped clear it when Vanny made him. So then I think the more likely explanation, Henry obviously wanted to completely end things. I think he seems thorough. It makes sense he would have gone back to old locations and grabbed old stuff just to be completely safe, make sure no remnant or souls or whatever is still around. So I think it would make sense that he'd grab the Funtime casings from the underground complex, because obviously Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy couldn't, because they would have left in the first place with them on if they could get their casings. So I think that's why the casings are in the Blob. But then I was thinking about other aspects of the Blob, because I think part of the confusion there also was seeing that made people think, oh, it's the souls, and they're still back, but then why did they have these? But I started thinking more about the souls and things, and if it's old souls. A couple things are very strange with that. One is Bonnie and Chica. They're like two of the original FNAF animatronics. They haven't had souls associated with them for about 40 years by the time of Security Breach. So it'd be strange that Susie and whoever possesses Bonnie would be back in the Blob. And also, where's Freddy and Foxy? Why aren't they there? It's strange. It's very weird. And then I also, thinking on that, went to Mangle. Mangle has never had an associated soul. There have been theories, I even remember specifically the vague idea that Susie's dog from the Fruity Maze minigame went on to possess Mangle, which I don't think works out. I think the timeline doesn't quite fit. But yeah, she's never had an associated soul. So, if the Blob is meant to be original souls, like original victims, why is Mangle there? He's never had a soul. And presumably, if the lights indicate souls, like the lights being on the eyes indicate souls, then it makes it can't be. Mangle never had a soul, so what's going on there? I was thinking on this, and I came to something that has not really ever popped up in theory things I've watched, from Matt, Pat, Dawko, and that's the fact that more children have gone missing at the Pizzaplex. I think the ending with Gregory in the alley, it shows 9, but I think that's implying that more have gone missing since he's been away from the Pizzaplex, instead of that being the number that are missing. But regardless, we know some kids have gone missing at the Pizzaplex, and presumably they were killed by Vanny. In this series, when kids are killed and go missing and whatever, they pretty much always end up attached to some animatronic. So where are these kids? We know the Glamrocks aren't possessed, they're just controlled by Glitchtrap or Vanny or whatever's going on there. I think then the clear answer that it points to is the Blob. Mangle, Chica, and Bonnie shouldn't have souls. That endoskeleton on the bottom maybe also shouldn't. I'm not sure really what's up with that. But by including characters that shouldn't have souls associated at the time of the game, I think the point is to point us towards thinking, oh, this isn't old souls, this is new souls possessing the Blob. I think this explanation also, I think it makes Freddy's line when he goes down there make way more sense, because the other explanation, if it is old souls, then what people go with is that Freddy's possessed by Michael Afton. I've never thought this. I think it's mostly just there because people want to put Michael somewhere instead of there being real evidence. But if that's supposed to be the case, I think his line of calling them his friends is very confusing. Now, obviously, technically, he could be referring to the glam rocks, but that would be weird. Like, I don't know how you know the glam rocks are down there, and that would just be weird placing for the line. But, so presumably, he's talking about the Blob. And if he's talking about the Blob, why would Michael be referring to anyone in the Blob as his friends? We don't even know, like, I don't even think Elizabeth is in there, even if it is old souls in the Blob. So, and I don't even know why he would be calling Elizabeth his friend when she's his sister, not friend. Like, you can call your siblings your friends, but you got what I'm saying. And I don't know why anyone else in the Blob would be his friend either. That is one thing that makes me think it definitely can't be Michael possessing Freddy. That doesn't make sense. But if the Blob is new souls from kids killed at the Pizzaplex, I think it actually makes way more sense. Freddy is a very friendly animatronic. Immediately befriends Gregory. I think it's probably likely that Vanessa, Vanny, maybe even Glitchtrap directly, used the Glamrock animatronics to lure children away from main spaces to kill them, which is why Freddy refers to them as his friends, because he befriended them, but was used to eventually kill them. Now, I also said in my security breach video that I agree with MatPat that you can't use cut lines and stuff like that to theory craft, because it's cut. That's not what you're fully, in the end, intended to see. But I do think some of the cut lines that Freddy had even more clearly point to the idea that he was used to help kill kids, and that those kids are probably then in the Blob, because seemingly those voice lines would activate around the same time as the one we do get, or maybe in place of it, and they just decided to go with a different line. And also, the I am not me bit also makes sense here, in the sense that he's no longer controlled. Him, his former self, was controlled and used to lure kids, but he's not himself. He is the free Freddy. I still think the line is a little awkwardly written, but I think it makes sense. I think this explanation makes so much more sense. There are some things that I still don't know how to explain. Baby not having lights on is definitely strange. I don't know, like, assuming the lights are souls, because the Blob definitely has at least one soul attached to it to be, like, angry and moving around and whatever, and Freddy says friends, so it's probably multiple souls. So I don't know what's up with Baby not having lights on. I would even say the same thing for the puppet, that we know the puppet can have pinprick eyes, so why not? It's a little weird. Overall, what I would say my idea of what the game is, and what the story of the game is. Glitchtrap has taken over Vanessa and is sometimes more in control, and that's Vanny. Brings her, or makes her go to the Pizzaplex, seemingly mainly to get to his body, which is definitely, it's not William Afton still alive. It's just his dead body that this Glitchtrap version of him wants to possess because he's really weird. And they do that using the hack, we know, like, sends Glitchtrap into the system, hacks it all up, takes control of the glam rocks from time to time, clears this area out, finds his body. Now he's down there, and at some point in here they decide to kill kids, probably because that's just what William Afton likes doing. Those kids end up possessing this blob thing that was formed after the fires of the FNAF 6 building, and it doesn't do much until the events of the game, but it's the new souls of these kids. Nothing much is going on. Vanny, Glitchtrap, they're just getting away with their things until Gregory, the, like, insane child that he is, takes out the glam rocks, figures out what's going on, and presuming that the Afton ending is the true ending, sets himself up to probably be able to fully defeat Afton at some point. So, and I think that's just, it's cleaner. I think it explains far more about what's going on in the game, what's up. Because the, MatPat whole, that theory where it's connecting back, has so many holes. And that's what a lot of people have been saying, is it has so many holes, so many things, could connect, but don't quite, and just don't quite make sense. And I think it's because they're just wrong. I think it is just simply not correct. And I think even in MatPat's latest theory on it, he tries this whole thing about implying that patient 46 is robot Gregory, which I still am boggled that he could ever think that's the case. But, and like, he spins this whole thing about that weird post-it note room. All that did really was make me think, oh, this is where Glitch Trap gets better at controlling Vanny. But I don't know. That one is a little shakier, but overall, I think the game is actually pretty simple. The Blob is not that weird, it's just new souls. And they put characters in the Blob that shouldn't have souls to indicate that it isn't old souls. And I think, like, thinking about that's actually smart. And I think I'm correct. Like, I'm gonna say right now, I am 100% correct. And when we see the DLC, or the sequel, or whatever is like the next continuation, I am gonna be proven correct. You can hold me to my word on that. I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna do anything stupid if I'm wrong, but I'm not gonna be wrong. You can just call me an idiot if I end up being, but I won't be. I am correct.